Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
Good morning. Good morning. GW3, thank you so much for being here today on Gratitude Tuesday, giving you flowers. Who made an impact in your life? Today we have a special guest, Thais Mills. She's an artist, a poet. Oh my goodness. I want her to share all her accolades with you today. Hello, Thais. How are you? Thank you for being here today.
Hi, how are you?
I am amazing, and even better now that I'm here with you.
Oh, I am blown away. I thank you guys so much. What a warm welcome. Thank you.
And we have also Mary Kim is joining us today. Hi, Mary Kim. How are you?
Hi, Queens and Warriors. I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. You guys look lovely as always. I love this day. Talking about gratitude and all the things. It's like my centerpiece, gratitude. It just keeps me grounded.
Definitely. Gratitude is so important. Being grateful every day, writing it down has really changed a lot of things in my life. I've seen just a change evolve within my environment and myself, my thinking especially.
Definitely changes everything. I know for me, it's changed my mindset, my viewpoint, how I see the world, but also it's changed my whole life. Like it's what we put out comes back. And so I've seen it happen in this journey of mine. And so I think everyone should learn that practice. It will definitely make an impact.
Thais, what are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for this moment. You know, I have been really anticipating coming into the G3 fold, and I feel so comfortable here, so instantaneously. And I was a bit nervous, and now I don't know why, because I feel like first day of summer camp. First time ever here.
I love that analogy. First day of summer camp. Isn't it exciting? At first, nervous, yes. I understand that. But then it just, you just go with the flow and it'll just be just fine. And I love those glasses and your green flower. Thank you so much for wearing green. Gratitude Tuesday is always green. And I actually forgot, and I wore my orange shirt. I had to quick change. So, first, I would like to talk about who influenced me in my life. Was definitely my mother. First of all, she always told me, "Look your best when you go out. Wherever you go, always look your best because people judge by the way you look." And she taught me that, and I never understood why I had to dress to just go to the grocery store, but she insisted. And throughout my life growing up, I always dressed nice and always got people asking me, "Why you overdressed?" I was like, "I'm not. I just, and it makes me feel good when I dress." So definitely my mom, and she always taught me the value of money. So I always knew that money would always come my way. I was always a hard worker, saved my money, and the older I got, the more I learned about investing that money, not letting it sit doing nothing or sitting in the bank doing nothing, and invest it and be a smart investor. So I definitely learned that. Um, Thais, who influenced you?
Oh, my grandfather was a huge influence to me. He was the first African American male in New Orleans to start a moving company. And coming from an entrepreneurial family with such rich upbringing has always been quintessential in me, just never forgetting where I'm anchored to. Even when the currents do attempt to sweep you off course, it's always good to remember where and what and why you're anchored. So that's one of my driving forces.
That's beautiful, Thais. Your grandfather making an impact in your life at an early age, and him being an entrepreneur and starting his moving company. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. And I wish I would have known my grandparents growing up. I've heard stories and I got to meet them before they passed away. So that was a blessing. Mary Kim, who influenced you in your life?
I have to say my mom, my birth mom. I didn't really know her value growing up. She passed when I was 12. But as I grew up and went on my teenager life and adult life, like I look back and she was definitely a muse. She was like a chameleon. She taught herself English. She took care of the house. She made all the big holidays memorable. Like every little detail was taken care of. She made pies and cakes for the neighborhood. Like I don't know how she did it. She took care of my dad. She took care of 3 kids. Like she inspires me today at my age, and I know I won't live up to her. But she encourages me even in the afterlife to just keep showing up, keep doing the best that you can do. And so it has to be my mom. She came to this country, barely spoken English. But what I knew about her growing up is that she went after all the things. She taught herself all the things. I saw it with my own eyes. And even at a time period where things were not returnable in stores, I have to tell you, I think the most impactful experience with that, I was a little girl, is one day after Christmas, my dad had a habit of buying all the things on Christmas. And my mom returned all the things after Christmas. And it was all a bunch of jewelry and stuff. And they're like, "Sorry, miss, we don't return jewelry." And let me tell you, before we left, my mom got everything returned and then some. And my mom built the barbecue in our backyard with bricks. Like there was really nothing my mom couldn't do. And so she encourages me to like just continue forward, go after what you want, and continue to ask until you get it. So it has to be on my mom. Thank you, Janet, for this so much. Love this topic.
Wow, I love your mom. You reminded me of my mom a lot. She came to this country as well, not speaking the language. She went to school while she worked and raised 2 children to learn English. And she got her citizenship. So I definitely looked up to my mom. She was a strong woman, just like your mom, and how she did it all. And also, your mom reminds me of my daughter. She makes these amazing meals, and she has 3 kids on top of that, and a clean house. And I don't know how she does it with 3 kids. So thank you so much.
It's so funny because I have one kid and he's amazing and he's so chill. I only have one kid to take care of. I don't have a partner to take care of. And I'm like, how in the world did my mom do this? Like, it blows me away. And she like had that gift of like being creative. She made all of our like fancy clothes. She also did all that macrame back in the day, like massive pieces. Like, I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know how this lady slept, but like, yeah, she encouraged me to today. So it's always great to have these people in our life that we can look up to. And I'm not even sure my mom thought she was being inspiring. I think she was just trying to be the best version of herself, and like it's just so interesting. I'll never be able to get to ask her, but like having this conversation, I'm like, I wonder if she knew the impact that she was making. I'm not sure if that generation or the people in that my life in that generation knew that they were making an impact. I think they were just surviving and living life. My opinion, if I was to guess.
True, true. They probably didn't know. They were just being their best and living life and surviving, but yet having fun doing it and being artistic. And speaking of artistic, our guest, Thais, will you share with us about your accolades on your artist artwork?
Sure.
Is she on mic? Sorry, you're on mic.
Just a
Hello?
little bit. Yes. Thank you, Thais.
Okay. Well, my name is Thais Mills.
Now, Thais, I know that's not just it.
Well, no, of course that's not it. I'm also
Yay! And welcome, welcome, congratulations. And this is it was so blessed and honored for you to be a part of GW3. It's an amazing community. And also, Thais, I want to talk about you're a literacy advocate, which we here are definitely advocate for financial literacy. Would you like to talk more about that? Isn't it amazing? Children teach us so much. Now that I'm a grandmother of three kids, my daughter, she's amazing. It just made me realize, my little grandson, he just learned to walk, and looking at him wobbling, falling and get back up just reminded me, life is like that. We are going to fall, but we always get back up. Never ever quit. Uh, would we quit, walking, learning? Look at what we've accomplished in our lives. So if we can accomplish that, we can accomplish anything, really, when you look at it and try our best. Now, Thais, I know you're a poet and a painter. I see your paints in the back of you. And your artwork, amazing. Now, you're a voice actor. Now, can you tell us a little bit about that and about your your poems and your paints? Thank you, Thais. Speaking of poetry, um, you know, they say your poem should rhyme. Now, can you speak a little bit more about how a poem or what a poem is? That's true. I never thought about that. And speaking of songwriters, my little nephew, he became a songwriter, and the way you put your words together, and I'm learning myself, and now that I'm transitioning into a new phase in my life. I am an empty nester, finding my new way. I graduated from being a domestic engineer for over 20 years, and now it's like, what now? And so I'm trying to find my way through and put my words together. It's not that easy. Thais, is there can you advise me?
Can I advise you? You think about what gives you the most, what ignites, like if you were a car and this moment was a car, and your mind is the engine, and your hands are the wheels. Where are you going? And you don't have to rush. And you can pull over, and you can take a break, and you can look out the rear view mirror, and you can look at what happened before. You can look at what's going to happen in front. And so it's a beautiful experience. It should be nothing that should bring you apprehension or nervousness, because you are preserving a moment of time in your life that your grandchildren will be able to read, your great grandchildren will be able to read. And so take your time with that and have a good time with it.
I love that. Take your time and have a good time with it. And it's true. A lot of times we overthink things. We stress out about things. Mary Kim, are you a writer, or have you ever written poetry?
I have, and I apologize. For some reason, I just want to share that I couldn't hear you, Thais, at all, but I did get the gist. Well, I want to just comment into you. Your style, your creativity, like, bleeds into your work. I do have a question for you. Like, what is the thing that inspired you to become such an artist in many platforms? Was there just a gift that you found? Was it something that someone you looked up to? Like, I'd love to learn. Like, my brother, he was born with his gift of artistry. Like, he was creating his own cartoon comic book characters, like, to the detail, like, insane. So I'm always wondering, like, what was your journey with that?
I grew up next door to Sally Ann Roberts. Sally Ann Roberts is the sister of Robin Roberts from Good Morning America. You may know who she is. She was the one that donated, I want to believe, the marrow to Robin Roberts. Remember the sister? Yeah. So she was, Sally Ann Roberts was like the Robin Roberts of New Orleans. And so she would bring me to the studio with her. And, my mother was recently divorced, and, she kind of took me under her wing. And it's a mentorship that I will always just hold true and appreciate, because I do believe that you have to see something to be something. And it was pivotal for me to facilitate those needs. And then at about 14 or 15 years old, I became a camp counselor for New Orleans Recreational Department. And it was my job to teach little 5 and 6-year-olds creative writing and painting. And we just started painting little fun, simplistic things. And it was something that just sticks, and it's still sticking. And when I became a writer, when I would interview celebrities, I interviewed Stevie Wonder when I was 15, and Pimp C right when he was released from jail, and I would just give them pieces of my art. It was just a piece for me to give them. And then after Hurricane Katrina, when I lost everything on my baby pictures, it was some type of way the art just became more monumental, because you can lose everything, and art really does connect us all. So it was something about seeing someone doing something that's so trailblazing and giving them a piece of my art, just to let them know that from one artist to another, because we're all an artist in our industry, that I see you, and I hope more people see you, and I wish you the best. And if I never see you again, or even get to be in the same room with you, I'm giving you your flowers while you're here. I'm giving you art while you're here. Just a little bit of color as we all just plow through this journey,
We're giving you flowers, Thais, right now. We're just giving you flowers.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you being here too.
I love that visionary. I love that mindset, because, we don't know when we meet someone who inspires us or motivates us, or that we're inspiring or motivating somebody else. And for you to honor that relationship, whatever short period of time that is such a gift. And, like, just give them a piece of your art, because that does last longer than possibly that moment. Or it's also a reminder for when they look at that, like, oh yeah, I remember that beautiful lady gave that to me and shared that with me. So that's just a beautiful way, and giving people their flowers, because we really don't know. Like I say this often nowadays, is that at the end of the day, all we have are moments and memories, and life can change in a second. Like it literally is 1 second. And so for us to consciously, the best way that we can, cherish those moments and like give the flowers, share with someone like that you were thinking about them, send them a text, just say like, oh, I appreciate you, because life so much. I think it's so crucial for us to be reminded of those things, because time is fleeting. So I love this topic and conversation. It's really impactful for me. And Janet, yes, I've written poetry. Like, you know, back in the day, I was, grew up in a time we had those little diaries with the little double locks and stuff. And I always wanted them for my birthday. And I would write, I don't even know, stuff in it. And today in my garage at home, I have probably a box or two of every journal, every notepad, every napkin, everything that I've ever written, because I'm using it to utilize in my life today. And I did not know back then I was doing this, but looking back at my life, I wrote on pieces of paper because I trusted the piece of paper. I trusted that my words would not be misconceived. I trusted that it would be safe on that paper. And I got all the things that were in my head that I could not like stop thinking about. Once I put it on that piece of paper, it was out of my head. And I really believe today that it saved me and helped me grow through my adversities without even knowing that I was doing it. But I loved writing, and I actually have it's like one of those 3-ring binders. It's old, it's ratty, and I have all my poems I wrote during my high school, and some of them are funny when I look back at them. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. But it's a time period of my life, and I'm not one to burn my stuff. I can't wait to uncover that box that's still sitting in my garage 10 years later when I move, to go through them, because it was a period of my life, and it just showcased what I was going through, because I wrote everything down, details, details, details. And I love it. It really was like a healing journey for me when I look back, and I think it's allowed me to stand more in my truth, and it helped me become who I am. So yes, and I'm actually just a little plug. I just started today in August. Is my first blog, like what do you call it? I'm a monthly blogger on a platform, and August was my first one. So now I'll be like a featured one every month, and I'm super excited. So yes, I love it. I think I love writing about things, so yes.
Congratulations, Mary Kim, by having that blog and being featured in it, writing your story. And all those things that you wrote in those books and your notes and everything, you could turn that into a book.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
What was that, Mary Kim?
That is the goal. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's why I never threw them out, because they're like my reference, because my brain does remember a lot of things, but not everything. But that paper is the timeline of life of mine. So.
And speaking of books, Thais, would you like to talk about anything coming up for you, or anything that you've accomplished in writing?
I have
I love that you said it's a colorful day. And when you're surrounded by children, you feel like a child yourself. And I totally resonate with you. When I'm around my grandkids, I run around and I play, and it just makes me feel young again. So I appreciate you sharing that, definitely. And
Um,
a movie camp. Wow, I've never heard of that ever. Is that just in New Orleans, or is that all over the United States?
So no, this was in Atlanta.
Oh,
I
wow.
Yeah, so I went out to New Orleans. The city of New Orleans commissioned the Economic Development Department commissioned me to honor 11 trailblazing women in New Orleans. So I went down there to hand deliver them hand painted hair flowers and sit down with them and share their stories. And then when I got back here to Georgia, Atlanta, which is where my small gallery is, I was brought in by Lift to Enrich, which is a nonprofit that works with children with writing. And they wanted to put on a movie camp and wanted to know could I come and give some insight, and I was happy to. So, you know, I think if you're really immersed in your craft, I don't want to be known as an expert. Like I want to be the student because I want to learn. I want to mess up and do it better. And I think that's one of the things that even though I am a writer, I kind of lean more towards being an artist, because when you're an artist, like it's truly okay to color outside the line and to live outside the line just a little bit, right? Yeah.
I love that.
Love that you share that too. I think no matter where you are in your field, that we always have to be a student. Life and business. Because for me, I know when I'm not open to learning or seeing things or catching things that the universe is also giving me, I'm not leaning into what I'm being served or becoming. But it's that open mindset, that open spirit, that open heart, but also making sure you're focused on that. So always being a student is so crucial, I think, no matter where you are in this lifetime. And it's something that I teach my son too, that he can, God made him so handsome, God made him so cute, but you do have the power to be better than yesterday. You can be nicer than you were yesterday. You can learn more than yesterday. Like that's what we have control of. And I tell him every single day that all the things that you can be better at, you can decide. So tomorrow you can be better. You can love someone more today than yesterday. And sometimes he's like, Mom, why do you keep telling me this? I know already. You've been telling me all my life, but I still tell him every single day. And it's so important for us to teach others, especially our youth, that we need to always be open to learning, because you're never stop evolving or becoming. And if you're the same person you were yesterday, you're not being open to change and evolving, because we all can do things better. And the people that come into our lives, or the experiences that you have gone through, or maybe someone that has shared with you, they're all adding value to your life. So take those lessons, those gifts, those things that they're sharing with you that light your spirit, and take that and incorporate that into your life. This is how we grow and evolve, by taking all that positivity and adding it to our core value to us to help us grow. So I think it's so important for us as humans to keep evolving.
Absolutely.
Yes, we definitely never stop learning. Never. Even though we don't realize it, sometimes we're still learning new things all the time. And children, well, they're learning every day as well. How to eat, especially when they're learning to eat, how to, potty train, the whole thing, just growing up. And even though some of us get stuck in a rut, pick up a book, try a new hobby, do something different. And speaking of doing something different, Thais, I've been thinking about getting into art and painting. I don't know. I tried it back when I was younger, in school and stuff like that. But as an adult and with my children, we colored and things like that. But as an adult now, I never really picked up a paintbrush and paints and really created something, out of the norm or just freehand. Any tips?
Mhm. I mean, again, I just created an art and wellness program for Duman Home Health Care, which was so exciting. And when the owner came to me, she found she was just a little bit about you. She works with dementia patients and stroke patients and autistic children and things of that nature. But she really did, and she did occupational therapy with them and the things that they fundamentally needed. But she says, we fundamentally take care of them, but we want to have fun with them. Can you help us have fun? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I'll tell you that, whatever helps you have fun, take that and add color to it. And I'll slip away and I'll show you something here with my phone, something that I have here that I don't show anyone. And it's my adult coloring book. Adult coloring books are it's a super fun and quick way to tap into that fun that you want to feel, maybe in between Zoom calls or stressful meetings or things of that nature. Also, I'll tell people to color coordinate some color pencils and keep it on your desk. I have my blues. I have my daughter calls this my girly thing. I have and I keep markers and pencils and acrylic pens and just the weirdest thing all around me. And whenever I feel like it, I just stop. And I do believe that everyone should have a space in their house that is away from your desk, away from where you work out or whatever, where you just literally color. It could be, don't even tell your kids. Every adult should have one fresh pack of colors. It should not just be for the kids.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna do that. And actually I did buy like a coloring book, but I never got into it. It seems like doing other things and never, kind of find the time. But do you read and write more than you paint? And how do you balance your life? And how do you manage to get your artistics out on a daily?
Oh, I don't balance my life. I am all over the place.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Which is why things like G3 and the Women Warriors and how you guys soar and come together was so pivotal for me to just take a moment to prioritize my self-care and stopping this. Tonight I'll be in North Atlanta. I'm overseeing a live art installation for an honorees banquet at 8:00. Maybe about 90% of it is done. As you can see, it's still here on my back table. But I wanted to stop and do this and be here in the moment. You know what I mean? Because sometimes some of the juicy part is when you don't have it together. That's what helps people keep it together and get it together. The people that don't really have it together. And that is okay. Yeah, it is. But it's okay though, because that honesty and that transparency, it keeps me connected with great people that help keep me artistically accountable. Not all the way accountable, because shout out to all the real people doing the real adulting things. I still get to use my artist license.
I love that so much. And whenever I've colored, it brought a sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
I we want to be like, oh yeah, I can balance it all. But the reality, if we really look, like, I'm not balancing everything. I'm juggling. And then, a mom, I knew like it would be a balancing act, but I didn't know how much I'd be juggling. But also going into entrepreneurship, being part of different communities, growing my own business, building my brand, like all these things are juggling. And it's not balanced because sometimes you're like, okay, this is my plan for the day. But then this pops up or this opportunity pops up and you got to pivot and move. And I think we have to be that flexibility, but also with that, set our boundaries, meaning that, you can't say yes to everything every day. And I'm learning this today, and I'm trying to really hone into this in the last couple weeks, is that if it's not going to take me to where I see myself in the future and where I want to go, I need to decline, even though I want to say yes to all the things. I really have to set my boundaries because I'm in control. Lack of God, take me wherever, but I'm in control, like where I spend my time, what's going to add value, how can I add value, what's going to continue to make me continue forward to where I want to go. But understanding that and give yourself grace because, life is a juggling act. I'm not going to say it's a balancing act because I have not been able to balance it. Like when that it's like an even balance. I don't remember any time in my life that it was that way. So it's like a constant, like maybe a seesaw juggling act. We're throwing up a ball, catching another one. I'm going to say juggling for me, but I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Me too, a juggling act. And Thais, just like you said, nobody has got, well, shout out to those that do have it together. And I've tried to do the balancing act, but I'm like a little bit all over the place. And Mary Kim, we are balancing experts.
Juggle.
Juggling experts, there you go. Oh, we lost Thais.
Show up like it's balanced.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello?
Oh, we hear you. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you
I'm
are.
I'm back.
We're back. And we have a little less than 10 minutes to go. But Thais, anything you would like to share with those out there who are kind of feeling the artistry in them, but don't know how to get it out of them? Any tips?
First of all, no one has to validate or license you to be an artist. You can stand up and say, I'm an artist. And that's one of the things I love about being an artist. If you think about, Basquiat, if you think about Pollock, if you think about Frida Kahlo, these are all people who had extreme adversities. Frida Kahlo was hit by a school bus when she was a child and literally could not even focus her body. She had to paint, like a stickboard. And so some of the most passionate pieces of painting has come from the most pivotal pieces of pain. And so if they needed someone to stop and say, oh no, wait, you're going through too much. We don't really want to see what you have to paint. We don't want to see your colors. Then, who we have to look at museums. So, thank God for the people who just stood up and grabbed the paintbrush and found some type of way to throw it on a canvas, because we have these amazing, interestingly eclectic artists that we can talk about. So I can't be the one to tell anyone who they need to be or what they need to do before they can become an artist. If you're already thinking about being an artist, then 75% of the job is done.
Oh, I love that. And adversity and the things we go through. Now, Thais, I know you went through Hurricane Katrina, and because of that, something happened in your life. Can you share a little bit with us about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Save the best for last, right? You know,
Right?
so Hurricane Katrina changed my whole life. I was 25 years old. I was a media guest for Essence Music Fest. I wrote for some of the top papers in New Orleans, and it was before really like social media and things like this. Of course, all you really had is your business cards and your press releases, where we had to actually go to the radio stations and the news stations. And so to get up and to pack up and to go to another city, not knowing when you're going to come back, and then all of your resources are gone, and all of what you thought you needed to be the best person in the industry that you are depleted, and you don't know when it's coming back or if it's coming back. I think one of the best things that I learned was that it's not what I do, it's who I am. And if I am an artist in New Orleans, then I can be an artist in Fayetteville, Georgia. And if I am an artist at Essence Music Fest, then I can be an artist at Gratitude Tuesdays with you beautiful ladies. And so it's not where we do, it's not what we do, it's who we are as those things are being done. And I think that was the best thing that Katrina could have taught for me. That water rose over me, that mold crept on me, and then that water rained down and washed it all away. And it made me a part of a historic moment where so many other people got up and picked the pieces up and moved on, and to live to tell the story. And if you're an artist like me, live to paint about it.
Live to paint about it.
I love that. I'm so like what you just shared, Thais, it really moved me because I'm talking from my own journey. There was a period of time like there had to be a label. Like, what do you do? That's your title. Or if you're a mother or not a mother, like all these titles that like people are expecting, like, what is your title? But the real gift is like you are your title. Your name is your title. Your name is your business card. Your name is who you are. What you do doesn't determine you. You do. And we, especially on these social streets, like, I'm not saying anything's wrong. Everyone has their own journey, but like, I am X, Y, and Z, but that's not only the thing that you do with whatever business that you're promoting. But, we have to also own our name, because at the end of the day, whether you do that thing all day for the rest of your life, but what if you don't? Like, you are who you are, and people will resonate with you as a person over the job that you represent, whether it's your job or you're working for another person. At the end of the day, you have to show up as yourself, and you have all the tools. And sometimes these adversities help to bring about and to showcase to you that you don't need anything else but what's already inside of you. So I love that you share that. And that's something that either you're gifted with that at the young age of that understanding, or through life's journey, you get forced to understand that whole concept. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I thank you both of you ladies for providing can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for just providing the platform so that I could feel comfortable to tell this side of the story. It is hurricane season, and I feel like when you live in New Orleans, it's not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen. And so you have to be vigilant and resilient. And so thank you, because sometimes going through something is talking to it too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Vigilant and resilient. I love those two words. I'm going to have to write those down. And Mary Kim, you said something that I tried to write it down and now I forgot what it was, but I'm going to have to catch the replay on this one.
I said, so I'll watch the replay too. But thank you so much for, accepting the invitation and sharing your story. I know how vulnerable that can be, how scary that could be, and how the uncertainty, like, you don't really know us, right? But you felt the energy in the space, and you're like, okay, well, I trust these people. There's this vibe. So, but that takes a lot of courage too, to step out your comfort zone, to be like, okay, I'm just going to accept it and play it as it is, but step forward into that space is just, I appreciate you and our audience, I'm sure will as well, and has, for your bravery and just being honest and authentically you. And sometimes, though it seems rare for me to find those people, it really shouldn't be. And so for showing up as your authentic self does take courage, because we, especially in these social streets. So that's a beautiful gift that you have, and just always show up as yourself.
Well, and I'm really happy that you touched on that, because one of the beautiful things that happened from the ugliness of Katrina was I don't have to lie.
Yep.
You know, when I say I'm from New Orleans, you know I lost everything. You know I don't have baby pictures. You know I'm starting over in a new city. You know that I'm taking my art and I'm moving to another place for refuge. And so, you know, that whole fake it till you make it is exhausting. It really is. And if you take that energy and just find someone that you trust, pray on it, whatever, you know, whoever you pray to, and put that energy and just realizing the resources that you need due to the situation that you're in, you'll be surprised how far you get. And that was one of the great things. I didn't have to, you know, as they say, you know, you take the beat up car and you park around the back so they don't see you getting out. I didn't have to do any of that. You know, you knew I had a FEMA number. You know, I was homeless. You know, all these things. So let's just have our little chuckles. No, my socks are not still wet. You know, and let's just move right on in. And, you know, and it's great. It's great. I'm a part of history, and that's great, because from every part of history, you know, you get a story. There you go.
You are a part of history, Thais Mills. And also, you are a speaker for humanity, correct?
I would like to believe so. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, like Mary Kim said, thank you for being here and trusting us, and even not knowing us, and we are so grateful for you today, for being here and sharing your story with us. And I've learned a lot. Like, I know what I'm going to do now, because you said something really impactful. It's not what you have, it's who you are. That's what it is. And I love that, what you said. So thank you so much, Thais Mills. And how can people reach out to you and connect with you?
I can be reached at ThaisFlowers.com. All social media handles is Thai Flowers. And or you can just Google my name, Thais Mills. Or you can just become an amazing G3 member and see me at all the shindigs.
And speaking of all the shindigs, are we going to see you this weekend?
Yes, you will. I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm excited to meet you in person. Thank you so much, Thais.
Same here. And Thais, before we get off, as being a speaker or an honorable member of humanity and speaking on that, what's the one thing that you'd like to share with our audience about being that person to speak on that subject?
You know, no matter how fast you're walking towards your own dreams, please don't forget to keep your ears to the ground. There's someone with a voice that is not as strong as yours. There's someone that doesn't understand as much as you understand. And I do think that the true definition of power and success is how much you care about how powerful other people feel, and how they're attaining their success. That's what I'll say.
I love that. Keep your ear to the ground. You have to remember that we were somewhere on the ground at one point in our life, whether in the beginning of the life, throughout the life, or bits and pieces of our life. We've all had our own, you know, how to get back up at some point and find ourselves again. So I love that you shared so much. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And you too, and Janet. I haven't met you in person yet.
Yay! It's gonna be so. It's gonna be amazing and such a phenomenal event. Renee and GW3 does it. Does it 7-star luxury. Thank you, Thais Mills, for coming live with us for your first time and giving you your flowers. And yes, Google her name, Thais Mills. She pops right up.
And Thais flowers, you know, and if you live in Fayetteville, Georgia, you know, open up your window and just scream. You just may see me, you know. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the time that you've taken today to give me a platform. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you. So I could not have done this without you, literally and figuratively. Thank you.
Thank you, Thais. Now we're gonna move on to Clubhouse, and everybody, please give some hearts, some green hearts to Thais for taking and going live today with us. Appreciate her so much. And we're going to go into Clubhouse right now and talk about what we got out of today and what we are grateful for, and who we're giving flowers to. Ourselves first. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today on Global Women Wealth Warriors. Join the club. Join the club. Thank you so much for being here. We're taking it away. Thank you.
I'm Renee Noor, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 Magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar.